following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds 30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick and Michael Cindric. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in on a busy Friday afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee. Boy, there is a lot going on. The high school football season begins tonight. Our Friday night live show will debut this evening at 6 p.m. Zach Womble, Billy Derrick will join me in all of the proceedings. It's going to be a lot of fun. 6 to 11 p.m., the very best coverage in high school football in this area. Billy, how are you today?
George, I'm great. The very best coverage. It's gonna be a tiring night.
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, it's gonna be tiring, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
First full-time Friday night show. We'll see how that goes.
This is what you signed up for.
Oh yeah.
You know, all those years ago at Father Ryan, I want to be a broadcaster. Well, welcome.
Welcome to the real world.
Absolutely. Okay, Watson's got the day off, as well he should. And let's start out with our daily Titans update. Terry McCormick at his palatial, I don't know about palatial. Office. How you doing?
George, how are you?
Doing good. So let's talk about tomorrow night. Preseason game number 2 between the Titans and Tampa. And let's just ask the question up front. Any Ryan Tannehill, any Derrick Henry? And I think I already know the answer.
No Derrick Henry for sure. Maybe a series with Ryan Tannehill. Mike Vrabel was very non-committal yesterday when asked about all that. I would think you're going to see a lot of Malik Willis again and some Logan Woodside to go along with that.
Okay, obviously this is an excitement factor in this city right now, the Malik Willis factor, because there is an athleticism about him that even though he may not have all the technical stuff yet, boy, he has the athleticism. Terry, at this moment, is he number 2?
I think they are giving him a crash course in the offense, and Mike Vrabel admitted this basically yesterday, that he needs to learn the offense. They need to get him as many reps as possible in the preseason so that they know exactly what they have, because they know he's a long-term investment. I won't go so far as to say as he is number 2 right now, but he's taken a lot of number 2 reps with an eye toward him eventually maybe being a number 1 a couple of years down the road. Logan Woodside's the guy that's kind of caught in limbo in all this, because they know what he is. He's a backup. He's the guy that, is certainly capable of being on an NFL roster, though he's not had a whole lot of game experience. But Malik Willis's upside is very intriguing, and the Titans need to see as much of him as possible so that they can get him up to speed, get him comfortable in this offense, and see what they have long-term with the 2 preseason games that they have left and the practices that they have left. Right now, I'd say it's 2A and 2B. Is that fair to say, George?
Well, let me 2A and 2B it to death here. If Malik Willis ends up being number 2, is there a scenario where they boot Logan Woodside to give themselves some extra something somewhere?
I would say that that's not impossible. I would also say that it's probably a situation where they wouldn't want to boot Logan Woodside and kick him to the curb. But if they could find a way to slide him on the practice squad, if Malik Willis really develops and really gets it going over the next 10 days or so, then they might do that. But right now, I still lean toward them probably keeping 3 quarterbacks on this roster because, George, there's no way Malik Willis is going to slip through waivers, but Logan Woodside just might.
Well, look, there is no option of shipping out Malik Willis. He's too good a talent. Logan Woodside, first of all, for all this we know about him, we don't know a damn thing about him. He hadn't played a meaningful down in the National Football League. We don't know anything about him.
Well, you are correct in that assessment, but the Titans, for all of his shortcomings in terms of experience, the Titans profess that they are very confident in him if he has to go into a regular season football game. Now, as far as, what they could expect from him, I'm not sure. It certainly would need to be better than what he showed in Baltimore last week against the Ravens when he was picked off a couple times. But in fairness to him, again, he wasn't operating with exactly the best crew working behind the third string offensive line and with third string receivers.
Okay, give me this, Terry. For a person going to the game tomorrow night at 6:00, give me a couple of battles that have emerged on this roster that we ought to pay attention to.
Well, I think a couple of things that you want to pay attention to tomorrow night for this game. One, you want to watch the right tackle battle with Dylan Radins and Nicholas Petit-Ferrer because one of those guys is going to end up the starter. I think, for all intents and purposes, they would love for Dylan Radins to step up, claim that spot, but he's going to have to play well. He's going to have to protect Ryan Tannehill. He's going to have to open some holes. He's going to have to look the part and play the part tomorrow night and against the Cardinals in the finale, because I do think Nicholas Petit-Ferrer is a guy that certainly could have this job before the season's over if Radins doesn't step up, maybe even before the preseason is over. Now, other battles you want to watch. You want to watch a couple of these guys play an inside linebacker. With Monty Rice hurt, the Titans are a little bit short at inside linebacker. The other option that they have there is also hurt. Dylan Cole's been out for a few days as well with an injury. So you want to watch these two rookies. One is a late round pick, Chance Campbell out of Ole Miss. The other is Jack Gibbons, who is an undrafted from Abilene Christian and grad transfer to Minnesota. Both those guys are tackling machines. They're around the football. They're smart guys. And the Titans need them to contribute not only on special teams, but they need them to battle for a roster spot. And then elsewhere, I think you want to watch the receiver pecking order. You want to see what Treylon Burks can give you. You want to see if Kyle Phillips, what he's been doing in practice, translates to the game. And you want to see if a guy like Racey McMath, who's made a lot of plays and used his speed well as a deep threat on the practice field, see if that translates into a big game like it did against the Ravens in this preseason opener.
Terry, you have had great stuff this week. Cannot thank you enough. We'll do it again Monday, some of the postmortems of preseason game number 2.
Sounds good, George. See you
Terry
Monday.
McCormick reporting from his palatial office, if you will.
I thought you were going to say estate there for a second, George.
No, absolutely not. Okay. We have update material, and where do we start?
George,
unfortunately, I know where we start.
We start with a read. Start with a couple.
Okay.
Read.
Now that's fine.
Yeah. Forgot to get this before Terry, but of course we are powered by the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners. They are proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. The Justin Tucker team, call them at 615-906-8458. Also, Sumner Funeral and Cremation. They are sharing their family with yours in your time of need, now with 2 convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. Sumner Funeral and Cremation, traditional, affordable, and dignified.
Okay, let's start with item number 1.
All right, George, item number 1, and we've been going on about Marcell Ozuna and the troubles that he has had, but he has gotten in trouble again. He was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol early this morning, actually. It was the second arrest in as many years for Ozuna.
If I am running the Atlanta Braves, he never plays another game there. He is not worth the trouble that he's causing. This is a little bit like the Fernando Tatis situation, in that when Tatis got nailed a week ago, His teammates didn't particularly back him. The general manager did anything but back him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to see the same reaction on this deal. Domestic violence a year ago, DUI last night. You know, this should have been a team that was absolutely reveling in its finest moment this year, beating Jacob deGrom, the best pitcher in the National League, in a game they absolutely had to win. And Marcell Ozuna, that is a very selfish act. I would punt him.
Yeah, I mean, after that, it feels like the Braves are in agreement with you. After they put out a statement, they said, our organization takes these matters very seriously and are obviously disappointed by the situation. But they did say they'll have no further comment, of course. But got to imagine that might be the last of Ozuna in Atlanta.
I would have gone ahead and done it this morning and just said, you're out of here. First of all, he has not been all that good this year. Power numbers are pretty good. Batting average has not been. He's a complete liability in the outfield. He can't throw a lick. And, you know, I'll tell you who the big winner might be in this.
Who's that?
Adam Duvall. This might have the Braves. First of all, I look for the Braves to petition to say, we're getting rid of him with cause. He's at, I think I'm right, $16 million a year.
Ooh.
And I think the Braves have every right to petition whatever it is you petition to say, this is cause. DUI, domestic violence. We've been incredibly patient. We're tired of it.
Another beneficiary could be Dansby Swanson. Maybe that might clear out a little bit of cash for Dansby.
You know, you may well be right about that. So go with story number 2.
That rolls us right into story number 2, George. And we were skeptical about this at first, but I did see this on Twitter. I think it was later last night. According to Battery Power, a Braves fan site, but it seems accurate. The Braves have reportedly begun extension talks with Dansby Swanson. And John Heyman from the New York Post has come out and said the Braves have opened extension talks with Dansby.
Okay, now that is a credible source.
Right. So that's after seeing him come out and say that, he's like, okay. So
Battery Power? I have no idea what Battery Power is.
Me neither. But he continued
John
to say,
Heyman, very good baseball writer.
Yeah. He said if they can lock up the Georgia product, that would leave 3 likely top free agent shortstops: Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, and Carlos Correa. So, I mean, he's from Georgia. He's had a tremendous season. It feels like a no-brainer.
It makes a lot of sense.
It makes too much sense.
Why this has gone this far, I don't know. My guess is that Dansby doesn't quite know. But I also, if you go back to yesterday's interview with Danny Evans, you know, he sort of assured me that this is not the way Alex Anthopoulos would operate, and that Dansby knows exactly what's what. And if you'll notice, Dansby, for public consumption, has expressed no frustration whatsoever.
No, he's been gracious in this process.
Yeah.
You know who his agent is, George?
Yeah, the same guy, Casey Close.
Could
Freddie
be
Freeman's guy.
Wonder if there's any danger there. We'll have to see.
Or if he leaves, is it a swap of Trey Turner, Dansby Swanson?
I think that's
you'll hear that.
You will. You'll hear a lot from now until whatever happens with Dansby and the Braves. So we'll keep track of that. But George, some more news. Number 3, we go to college football. A couple of starting quarterbacks have been named. We start with Texas. Quinn Ewers has been named their starting quarterback. Steve Sarkisian named him the starter yesterday, redshirt freshman. So he was locked in battle with a sophomore. So he beat out a little bit of an older guy, Hudson Card, for that job.
Well, Ewers has gotten a lot of pub. He transferred from Ohio State. And the last time a quarterback transferred from Ohio State turned out pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So he's got a lot of pub behind him, and now he's got the job in a real pressure cooker environment because Texas thinks they are top dog. I don't think they are. Not yet.
There's a lot of pressure, of course, leading into the big Arch Manning coming in.
Yes.
So there's a lot of pressure that maybe some people don't realize on Quinn Ewers because they don't make a bowl. If they have a bad year, look out.
Quinn, meet my Uncle Peyton.
Nice little introduction there. George, another starting quarterback has been named in the Big Ten. Nebraska has named Casey Thompson their starting quarterback for next week's season opener against Northwestern in Ireland. So, Scott Frost.
There is a ton of pressure on Scott Frost at Nebraska. I believe that they have bent over backwards to try to see to it that he succeeds. But I think if the pattern of disappointment continues with Nebraska, he's in big trouble. This is a game next Saturday in Dublin. Scott Frost has to win, period.
Yep. This should be fun. Those are two programs that they've had some goods, but they've definitely had some bad moments down the road. But
Dublin in August.
I don't know how fun that's going to be for those two programs. But George, one more piece of news to get to. There is one person still left to settle with Deshaun Watson. Houston attorney Tony Busby, who represented 24 women who sued Watson, told John Barr of ESPN that 3 of the remaining 4 active lawsuits have been settled. There's one more, and that person is admitting a lack of remorse.
Well, and I'll be honest, I happen to agree with her. Here's what I'm seeing out of Watson. Watson yesterday took to the podium, and for a while you could tell it was, I am reading. Okay. And then there came a point where they opened the floor for questions, and it's there that he gets himself in trouble because he gives us all this, I'm innocent. And, I'm enough of a smart aleck to say, well, if you're innocent, 11 games, $5 million, why did you agree to this if you're innocent?
Yeah, I'm with you, George. He has not seemed very remorseful on this. And, yes, he's going to say what he has to say, but I mean, there's been no personal touch to this from his point of view. I mean,
and I think one of the things they're going to have to do is, number one, in the next year, limit his media availability. He does not help himself at all when he goes off script. And when he has to get questions from the media, when it's more than him reading a prepared statement, he gets himself into trouble.
Yeah.
He gets himself, and I don't think he did himself any favors yesterday with the things he had to say.
No, and George, I've lost more respect for him. I mean, I think there was a glimmer of hope, after the suspension news, but I mean, he's out there and he's practicing, but he's not saying not saying enough. He's just not acting the way.
And you don't feel anything.
No, it's just there. His quotes are there. There's no power to him.
What else?
George, that's it.
That's it. We're done.
We're done here.
So do we go home?
No.
I didn't think so.
You don't want to leave this ship up to me.
Oh, it's going to be a long ship. We got a lot to do today and tonight. By the way, how about them Braves?
Whew.
Big win last night. Oh, man. Max Fried is everything Jake Odorizzi is not. How about that?
You're a big Odorizzi guy.
Not right now. I'm not. No, I'm very down on him. Okay, we'll go to the break. When we come back, our own Zach Womble will join us. High school football. It actually got underway last night, but this is the first big Friday of activity, and this is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is, we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're gonna have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
It is here, and we welcome all of you back on a beautiful Friday afternoon. It is not as hot as, let's say, 3-4 weeks ago in July, and that's a good thing with the high school football season having its first Friday night this evening, and that means we debut at 6 p.m. Friday Night Live. We are really looking forward to this. Zach Womble, who will join us in just a moment, part of this 5-hour marathon. Billy Derrick over there, if we can keep him awake, he'll be a part of it as well.
Yes, I will.
You signed up for this. You said years ago at Father Ryan, I want to be a broadcaster. And some teacher said, yeah, but you'll be up till 11 o'clock on Friday night.
I didn't get much of that. They said, oh, you'll have tons of fun. You'll love it, but I'm loving it, George.
You'll
I
work
can't wait.
with this idiot Plaz. Okay, let's check in with the other one who thinks I'm an idiot. That's Zach Womble. He's with us. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? How are you guys doing in there?
Doing good. So you've got all your preparation ready.
I do. I do have all my preparation ready. It's
Did that sound all that convincing?
Well, I wasn't sure if you were going to keep going there, George. You kind of left me there hanging, but no. Yeah, I've been preparing for this all week. I mean, it's obviously something we want to get right, and we think we're going to do that tonight. And like you said, it begins at 6 and it runs all the way through to 11 o'clock. So 5 hours of unmatched coverage here in the Middle Tennessee area. You know, we often say high school sports is back, high school football is back. Well, that means Main Street Preps is back with the best high school coverage in all of Middle Tennessee. So we're super excited about tonight.
The backbone of this is certainly not the three of us. It's that army of reporters that you all have. Talk a little bit about what we mean when we say that, and maybe where a couple of them are assigned tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So Billy can attest to this. Earlier in the week, after we had got our assignment schedule, I put out like 25 or 30 games that I really thought that we could highlight tonight. I don't know if Billy was kind of overtaken by it all, but I think he might have been like, oh, that's more than maybe I anticipated. But yeah, we've got reporters all over the mid-state. You know, in the commercial that we run, I tell you, whether you're in Giles County, Rutherford County, or anywhere in between in the mid-state, we have you covered. And we do. I mean, we've got guys at NBA Ravenwood, which happens to be our game of the week this week. Springfield Greenbrier, which is a huge Robertson County rivalry. I mean, Portland, Westmoreland. I mean, you name it. We've got someone there. And so our scoreboard updates are going to be long tonight, but we'll definitely get your team in, and we'll definitely get coverage of those football players as well.
Okay, with that in mind, you'll notice, those of you watching right now, we have this crawler thing. I don't have better words for it, but you see it scrolling at the bottom, the little crawler baby. Well, tonight, that will be full of scores, not just final scores at 9:30, but scores throughout the evening. And it takes some real manpower to put all that together. But we're here to tell you our scores are going to be up to date as much as humanly possible. It's not like the NFL or college where it's just handed to you. You really got to dig for it on the high school level. But Zach, we will dig.
Yeah, we will. And, shout out to the guys that are going to put that scroller, that ticker together, because like you said, it's tough, it's hard, but, people really depend on that and rely on us to be accurate. And we will take great pride in that. And like you said, we'll have many updates throughout the night. Personally, I think 3 scoreboard updates every hour would be nice. Maybe we get a little bit more in depending on the logistics of things, but we'll certainly keep you updated whether you're at a game or you've got eyes on another game or just anything. We've definitely got you covered tonight.
Okay, Billy, you want to punch up the storylines that we're going to have Zach follow not only now but later on this evening? Let's start with this whole Thursday night thing. Zach, Cane Ridge got a 17-14 win over Pearl Cone last night. Am I right? The whole Thursday night thing is a lack of referees?
Yeah, that's exactly right, George. So that's the best way, I guess, the TSSAA found to combat the issue of referee shortage, which was have games on Thursday night. And the TSSAA has asked all the schools in the state of Tennessee to please schedule a Thursday night game if you could. I don't think everyone did. I think there was like maybe 5 to 7 that didn't get a Thursday night game scheduled. But it certainly helps when you've got, a good majority of it, 95% of your schools in the state scheduling a Thursday night game to relieve some of that pressure that high school officials have. I mean, it's so tough being an official nowadays that they're just trying to figure out any way they can to keep them on board. And they've settled on Thursday night as one of those options.
What do you know about the game that took place there, Cane Ridge over Pearl Cone? Because you had told us earlier you thought there was a little bit of an uptick in Metro Nashville.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a way to kick off the season, right, for Metro Nashville football. We penciled that game. We highlighted that game as one of the best on the Thursday night schedule, and it delivered. I mean, Cane Ridge got up early by a couple touchdowns, highlighted by an amazing catch. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to head on over to Tyler Palmateer's Twitter account where he got a video of it. It's simply remarkable, and hopefully one that they can get on SportsCenter's top 10. But like I said, what a way to open the season for Metro Nashville. A really close ball game between Cane Ridge and Pearl Cone. I believe his name is Shiv Abdullah. Happened to be kind of the main guy for Cane Ridge last night.
Whoa, hold on a second. Whoa. Say that again.
I believe his name is pronounced Shiv Abudallah.
Okay, I'm going to buy 2 vowels. We're going to go A, and we're going to go O. That help?
No, a little bit. Yeah. So he was kind of the main force for Cane Ridge last night, whether kicking field goals. He was also the team's punter. He threw touchdowns. He ran. And he's actually the reigning Region 6A kicker of the year. So he's not a secret weapon to the opposing teams in that region. Everyone knows that he's kind of a Swiss Army knife. And he showed out last night, like I said, throwing for a couple touchdowns, 155 yards, kicking the game-winning field goal. So just a really good night for Metro Nashville football to kind of get off on the right foot between Cane Ridge and Pearl Cone. And listen, I've been saying all preseason I think Pearl Cone could really make a run at it to the state championship this year. For Cane Ridge to come out and get a victory the way that they did bodes well for the Ravens.
Yeah, impressive start. Okay, let's go with item number 2, and that is no big surprise. Oakland has been, depending on where you want to put them, whether it's the best team in the state, number 2, maybe number 3, but let's face it, they are loaded.
Yeah, a quote caught my eye last night that one of the players, Zach Turk, told Matthew Sawyer, our reporter for the Murfreesboro Post, told him that the team believes the way that Kevin Creasy does. And that allows them to teach the underclassmen how to be mentally prepared and mentally tough so that they can rotate anyone out without any hiccups. And that's exactly what you see, it seems like, year in and year out at Oakland High School. I mean, they're replacing Antonio Patterson and Jordan James, 2 guys who are playing, at FIU and Oregon at the next level, rushed for combined 3,000 yards last year. And, they run off a 42-0 win last night and make it look easy. Caden Hewitt throws a 90-plus yard touchdown to Quincy Jackson. And, they're just off to the races just like they had been. And, they pushed their win streak to 31 games. And Kevin Creasy has yet to lose a home opener in his career at Oakland. So they've really got it rolling over there. And I know that Main Street Preps has Oakland as our second best team in the top 25. But I'm just here to say that I am one of the ones that was pushing for the Patriots to be number 1, because I think you can't take that crown away from them until someone else deserves it.
Billy, do you put anybody ahead of Oakland?
Maybe Lipscomb Academy. I saw them in a scrimmage against Father Ryan, and it didn't look like high school football. I mean, it looked like that was a lower level Division I, maybe Division II football team. I mean, they've got grown men on that team. So does Oakland. So right now, I mean, I don't know who you're gonna have to see how that shakes out, but I mean, to most people, it's Lipscomb Academy in Oakland right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with either team, George. I mean, but personally, like I said, I'm sticking it with Oakland and Kevin Creasy just because they've been there, they've done that. I know Lipscomb Academy won the state title last year. They just kind of ran through everybody but Oakland. So if you're asking me to pick and choose, I'm rolling with the Patriots.
Okay, let's go now to item number 3 of Zach's storylines for tonight, and this is a big one, because these are 2 high-profile quarterbacks who are going to play big time in the future. Run with that.
Absolutely. And, I don't think we can talk about this game enough, this matchup enough. In fact, Tyler Palmateer is going to join later on to preview it as well. But, yeah, 2 future Egg Bowl participants, with one going to the University of Mississippi and the other one going to Mississippi State. That's Reed going to Ole Miss and Parson going to the Bulldogs. And, we're going to get a little bit of that tonight, a little bit of flavor between those 2 teams. And, I would say if I had to pick either one of those teams or either one of those quarterbacks to lead their team to a state title, it's probably going to be NBA, just because I think they're in a better position in D2 than, say, Ravenwood is in Class 6A. But you know what? If you've got a ticket to anywhere tonight, I would suggest you head on over to this football game, because what you're going to see is 2 future quarterbacks that really know how to sling the football around. I mean, they're Elite 11 finalists for a reason. They can use their legs as well, but more importantly, they're great leaders on the field, and their teammates respond to them. And so just being able to see 2 future stars play under the lights on Friday night, football players will tell you all the time, whether in the NFL or college, that there was no better time than those Friday night lights and those Friday night matchups. And I think that's exactly what you get tonight, is you just get a really good football game, and it's just a glimpse into what is to come in the future for 2 SEC quarterbacks.
When Parson decommitted from Florida State, what do you think ultimately was the deciding factor to make him a Bulldog?
Yeah, so I had heard that he has family that lives in Mississippi, so that was a really big selling point, as well as the air raid offense. I mean, you look at Mike Leach and what he's able to do with quarterbacks, he really allows them to shine, right, George? I mean, whether it's passing for 60 attempts a game or 500 yards a game, they usually grab the stat sheet. So if you're a quarterback, it's really easy to go play for Mike Leach, but it's to my understanding he's got some family maybe near campus down there, and that maybe pushed it over the edge for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Give me a couple of other games, both of you tonight, that you all are really interested in, that if you weren't in here, you might sneak away and go watch.
Well, my first one ultimately is Portland at Westmoreland. And I know a lot of people maybe in the mid-state are thinking, why would you want to go to Portland, Westmoreland? Well, let me tell you right now, these two teams used to hate each other. This is a rivalry.
Used to hate each other?
They're trying to bring the hate back, but it's become more friendly over the years, I should say.
They shake hands now?
Yeah, they shake hands now. They show up at the
Turned into the
cookout.
NBA.
Yeah, exactly. But Chad Perry and Wes Inman, the two respective head coaches, Perry at Westmoreland, Inman at Portland, are trying to do a good job of bringing that rivalry back. And last year it ended with Portland kicking a game-winning field goal, and so now the teams fly back to the Eagles' nest. And I'm one to say that Westmoreland is going to shock a lot of teams in Class 2A this year. So that's one game that I'm certainly keeping an eye on.
George, for me, Russell Venozzi is going to be at this one. CPA and Independence. CPA might not have their head coach. I don't think they will. Engel Martin is watching his son play the Little League World Series right now.
By the way, they won today against Utah.
They sure did.
11-2. Congratulations to them. And you know what? Hats off to Engel, who's a good friend. And this doesn't surprise me at all. That he said, I'm going to see my kid.
No, I'm not blaming the guy.
Nobody should blame
I'm not
him.
blaming the guy, but that's a factor. That might play a factor tonight. Two really good teams. CPA, of course, was very good last year, and I think they return a lot of talent this year. Independence has a kid committed to Vandy, London Humphreys, on the edge there at receiver. Or Humphreys is actually at CPA. Keep getting. Is he at CPA, Zach?
I believe he is a CPA, yes.
Okay. I'm getting those two names mixed up. But yeah, Humphreys at CPA, along with a lot of other talent at CPA, and Independence, of course, they're good every year. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
Okay. Guys, we are, 1 hour and 21 minutes away from the debut of this show. Zach, looking forward to working with you. Billy, you're stuck with me.
Hey, let's do it again, George. This is the third time we've done something like this, so we're ready to knock it out the park.
I can't wait.
Let's roll.
After I leave, if you catch him sleeping, you call me.
After you leave, we're throwing a party, George.
I'm ready. Let's go, Zach. Let's do it.
Pizza?
All right. See you guys.
Nice. See you. Zach Womble, he knows his stuff, and you all are going to really enjoy. Here's all I would ask you is, number one, if you're going to a game tonight, good for you. Do us a favor, turn it on at 6 o'clock. When your game is over at 9 or 9:30, turn us back on, and you will learn what we're saying, which is this is the best coverage anywhere. That's all we're asking from you. Fair enough?
That's it, George. That's all we're asking. Just throw us on, whether you're on your way to a game or on the way home. It's that easy. It's that easy.
Okay, when we come back, a few thoughts about a few things. This is Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit wellskinmd.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com. Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
We have had an incredibly busy week. Man, it has been wild. That's Urban Meyer. I'll explain that in a minute.
Not there yet, George. Not there yet.
Oh, that's not. Oh, okay.
No.
So I see him.
It's coming. You see him, but everyone else can't.
Everybody else does.
But he's coming soon.
Okay. Are we able to put up our phone number?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'll kind of explain what's what. We have not had a lot of time this week to do a lot of taking phone calls, text questions. And I know what that means. It means we've been incredibly busy with some great stories that have popped up. But today at about 5:05, we're going to open the phone lines and the text lines for 2 full segments up until around 5:40. There's the phone number. I'm going to want some of you to jump in on those lines at 5:05 today at 615-588-2998. Keep that up there for a minute. Now, if somebody wants to text a question, sort of ask your director.
Ask the director.
Ask the director.
So
how do they do that?
If they want to ask the old director, George.
No, not the old director.
The director.
The director.
Okay. Got to get it right. But George, all you got to do, pull it up on Twitter. If you're watching there, there's a search bar. If you just type your question in there, I'll see it and I'll send it over to the director. And then if you're watching on Facebook, same thing. Search bar pops up, and same exact thing on YouTube as well, George. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, that's how you fire your questions away. Or in the comments section, just comment section of any of our posts. Maybe I'll see them, and then I'll send them over to the director.
Okay. Ask the director. Very important segment of the show. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I know you all breathlessly await that. But I'm going to keep that up there for just a second so that you can get a look at it. And at 5:05,
write it down.
Yeah, we will go to your phone calls. So I sort of I blew it. I gave away the first story. Do we have the guy's picture?
You blew it, George.
Well, I may have.
There he
Okay.
is.
Urban Meyer was a bully in Jacksonville. Let's be honest. He's never going to coach on the pro level again. I would say less than 50-50 that he ever coaches on the college level again, but you never know because his one-loss record as a collegiate coach is incredible. You know, Urban Meyer on the college level was right up there, maybe a half notch below Nick Saban, if that. Fox has rehired him in the TV booth.
Urban Meyer?
Yes.
Wow. That's a bold move from Fox.
But I mean, think about it. They have always kind of gone, what's the word I'm looking for here? Cutting edge.
Yeah, kind of the other direction as opposed to most other networks.
They were the first one that hired, if I remember correctly, A-Rod. They hired Pete Rose at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Surely to God, they won't go there this time.
They do not need to go there again.
No.
That's tough.
So Urban Meyer will be in that pregame thing of theirs where they have about 6 people on there. It's a little junky, but nonetheless, that's what they're going to do. And so at least in 2022, he will be in the broadcast booth. I believe at some point, some school, I'm not saying it's one of the bigger ones, but if you're somebody like, and I'm going to make up one, Colorado State, and you have no past history of winning, why wouldn't you take the gamble?
Yeah, George, I thought he was a pretty good analyst.
He's a very good analyst.
You know, I mean, he's a great football mind. He's a good analyst, but
he was a total jerk in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and so I think that might hurt him in terms of, I mean, think about his respect factor before Jacksonville. I mean,
it was
pretty high at the college level, pretty high at the NFL level, and now the disastrous season in Jacksonville happens. All that stuff comes out.
Oh,
and so that'll be
awful.
interesting to see. Obviously, Fox seems to not care very much about that, but everyone else, if a player, say a player said, "No, I'm not going on set with," I think there might be a little bit of that kind of a animosity towards him potentially at Fox if these around teams or else.
Yeah, but it's all college that he's going to do.
Right.
This is all college.
So no NFL at all. Because if he's doing NFL,
I don't know. Knowing Fox, they'll put him in a booth for a Jacksonville game.
Yeah, I'm saying
here's what I would have done.
Oh, God. Yeah, Fox. That's something Fox would do.
Yeah,
but yeah, if it's as long as it's college, he should be fine. But if they let him do any NFL, I don't know about that.
Item number 2: University of Memphis is now apparently in on LeBron's kid, Bronny. And I'll be honest, given sort of the love affair between LeBron James and Penny Hardaway, I don't rule that out.
Me neither, George. And Memphis, that's kind of a pinnacle of basketball, not just college basketball, but basketball fans, basketball players. It seems like Memphis is pretty popular in terms of just basketball fans, talent. There's a lot of talent there. So
you want me to pull a Calipari? It's a basketball city.
It is a basketball city.
Always has been.
It's ingrained into that culture. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bronny has Memphis high on his list. Now, do I think it'll happen? Probably not. But I think he'll consider a school like that, especially with as much tradition as that city has.
I can't use the word. Angry at Marcell Ozuna, today arrested for DUI. Met with Alex Anthopoulos and Brian Snitker. My hope is that they DFA him, designate him for assignment, like by the end of the weekend. This should not take long. He should never play again for the Braves. Anybody else saying that?
I'm not hearing a ton of it, but I know a lot of Braves fans and people close to the team believe that. There's strong agreement. Ozuna, he's kind of hurt himself a lot. I mean, and especially the timing with Dansby. I've heard a lot of the Twitter rumblings about Ozuna. Now this happens. All right, let's get Ozuna out of here and let's keep Dansby here. There's been a lot of that.
I wish Danny were on today. Next week, if we're able to have Danny on, I'm going to ask him, do the Braves go after Ozuna for the money and basically say, we have fired you for cause, domestic violence 1 year, DUI another? Who's going to rule in his favor? I don't think the Players Association will stand up for Marcell Ozuna, but I think they're going to have a hard time with public opinion on this.
Yeah, just because it happened again. I mean, second chance. He had a second chance, but he blew it.
Okay, after the break, oh my God, I'm solo. Ooh, no Watson to help me.
You've done it before.
Well, I've done it before, but not with a great deal of success.
No.
Stat of the day when we come back. This is Main Street Media Television.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is, George. It's time for Stat of the Day, powered by John English Sports and Cards and Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. First, for John English, they specialize in antique and historical sports equipment, games, advertising, and other sport-related items. You can visit John English Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 o'clock and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Visit JohnEnglishGradedCards.com. Okay, so phenomenal place, George. We still got Rockcastle.
Right, but hold on a second.
Uh-huh.
It's a great place, and I encourage everybody to go. Go this weekend. Man, if you're a sports fan, but he seems to love calling me an antique.
Yeah, when he said that at first, George, I didn't think of it as much of an insult because they said, all I heard was George Plaster, Nashville's greatest antique. Nashville's greatest, but then I started thinking about antique, and I was
It sounds like I've been embalmed.
It's kind of a nice little smooth jab. It's hard to take that, but
I love it.
But George, one more here for stat of the day. Rock Castle Wealth Advisors, Eric Berner, the great folks over there. You can call them at 615-490-7052. That's 615-490-7052, or visit rockcastlewealth.com for more information.
Eric Berner's a good man.
Great guy.
Go see him.
Good commercials too.
Good commercials.
He's got a nice voice.
He does. That's why for years he was the Sound's public address announcer.
I remember you telling me that.
Yes.
Thought that rang a bell.
Stick around.
Stick around for stat of the day. Don't go anywhere. Which MLB player, George, has the record for the most consecutive games with a hit?
Well, I mean, we know it's Joe DiMaggio with 56.
Wow.
But that's not what. Oh, it is.
That was right. Wow.
Okay, so
I didn't think you were going to be that quick with that.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Little four-corner stall here. Did you know Joe DiMaggio had a 61-game hitting streak in the minor leagues?
What?
How about that?
What level? Do you remember?
Don't know. I was not around then. Okay.
I didn't think so.
So here's another one for you. In my lifetime, there's only one player who has ever gotten a hitting streak of more than 40. And that, of course, is Peter Edward Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And Atlanta,
a
really bad Atlanta team in 78 stopped the streak when Gene Garber, the side wheeler, got him out in the ninth inning. There are, I want to say, two that in my lifetime have gotten to 39. I know, and I need you to look this up, okay?
Okay.
This is what I think. Paul Molitor in Milwaukee got to 39. Benito Santiago, when he was the Padres catcher, got to 35. Okay,
yeah,
we're looking.
Molitor got to 39.
Molitor got to 39. What else? Can we tell who else is right up there around that point?
So longest hitting streaks?
Yeah, because here's what I would contend. This is a deal that was never going to get broken. Maggio's record was never going to get broken.
That's ridiculous.
But I would claim that it's even harder today than it was 20 years ago, because you've got all these relievers coming in the sixth inning, and they're all throwing 100. They're fresh. They're throwing gas. Man, it's hard. So, okay.
So Molitor, his ended at 39. Jimmy Rollins had a 38 game.
Wow.
Ty Cobb, 35. Chase Utley, 35.
Where's Benito?
Benito tied
34.
For 16th, okay. 34. Any Braves on here? Dan Ugla, 33.
I remember when he did it. And the truth of it is, at the time, Dan Ugla was not considered a batting average kind of guy. He was much more of a power home run RBI guy. I remember having Dan on my radio show right after the streak ended.
Wow. That's pretty good timing. You remember Rico Carty?
Of course I do. He was the thing on Rico Carty was the big boy with the big bat.
31 game hitting streak, yeah. 1970.
I remember it.
George, there's a lot of Reds. Cincinnati Reds. I mean, that's the one name I keep seeing. Dusty Miller, Elmer Smith,
Vada Pinson.
There's a lot of Reds.
Yeah. Okay, we have reached the 5 o'clock hour. Billy, that means you get to read.
Yes, it does, George. The 5 o'clock hour is powered by Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint. They combine state-of-the-art orthopedic service with a family atmosphere. Whether it's a sports injury, a sprained ankle, or a major joint replacement, Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has the staff, training, and equipment needed to take care of any patient in any circumstance. Their mission is to provide high-quality, specialized orthopedic care in a compassionate manner to the people of Columbia and Middle Tennessee. Visit them online at mtbj.net for more info.
Okay, in about 4 minutes, we will open up the phone lines. Put that number out there again, if you will. That's our number. I want some of you who are listening to jump in on that line, 588-2998. Also, another way to ask questions, because this will be the first time really all week that we've had the opportunity. We've had a lot of stuff going on, and so I wanted to give a little bit of time today. How can they text?
George, all they got to do, don't text the number because those won't come in, but comment. Fire your comments away, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, in that search bar. It's pretty easy, George. That's all you got to do.
Okay. Phone calls, texts in about 3 minutes. Here's the deal. Titans and Tampa Bay. They've been doing some fighting. They've done some scrimmaging. And tomorrow night, they play at Nissan Stadium at 6 o'clock, preseason game number 2. Now, it's hard to really take preseason all that seriously because when you get late into the third quarter and the fourth quarter, it is true. Some of these guys will end up being bartenders. So we've tried to look at this a little different through a graphic that you won't see just anywhere.
You will not see this anywhere else.
Okay. You want me to break this down?
Let's break it down.
Okay. Players to watch. Well, duh.
Who you
Malik
got?
Willis. No, I mean, that's a
easy.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
There's an excitement level right now in the city about him that's pretty cool. Young man from Liberty is a great athlete. Now, I've put one on the Tampa Bay side that you're like, what does that mean? QB with a pulse. Okay.
Little cynicism.
A little cynicism. Who knows what's going on with Tom Brady? Some of his own beat writers, Scott Reynolds, last night on this show from Pewter Report, kind of questioning what is going on there. And so, do we know for sure he's coming back? I mean, I think we think he is, but what if he isn't? Tampa Bay has Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask. Should Tampa be comfortable with those two?
I say no.
Say no.
So they've got to figure it out, George. They've got to either contact Brady and say, hey, what's going on?
I mean,
or get to work.
Is there a scenario where Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, I realize that I'm playing Oliver Stone here, but is there a scenario where Jimmy Garoppolo, who we've all rumored to Cleveland, ends up in Tampa if Brady isn't coming back? Home field tomorrow night, obviously the Titans, Nissan Stadium. It's not a big home field in preseason, but let's get to the intangibles. As I said earlier, there's an excitement about Malik Willis. There just simply is. In Tampa, the intangible, Billy, I don't know about you, but I've got to believe in that locker room. They're not saying it to the press, but amongst themselves, they're all like, if coach doesn't know, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, and George, I think it goes back to even when Bruce Arians decided to leave. I mean, I'm not saying their team fell apart by any means, but you lose a guy like Arians after a year and a finish. They were so close in the playoffs last year, and Arians leaves, and now you've got this Brady mess of what's going on with him. There's some indecisiveness right now from a few people in Tampa right now. One of them feels like it's Tom Brady. I mean, he's just deciding to not talk, so he's kind of disappeared. But
I'm waiting for something like TMZ to be the one to figure it out.
If no one else has broken anything yet,
when all else fails,
like TMZ is there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it feels like.
Slimy as it sometimes feels.
Yeah. But Scott Reynolds was really good yesterday.
Oh, he was terrific.
And he laid it out there. He told us, we've been surprised. We thought he was going to be here Monday. Tampa media thought Brady was going to be there Monday, so no Brady, and that doesn't mean no problem.
So the betting line tomorrow night is the Titans at home by 3, 38.5's the over-under. I would pay no attention to the over-under. Preseason game over-unders are a total flip of the coin.
Well,
they are a crapshoot.
And I feel like betting odds, it seems to me Vegas just kind of says, let's throw something out there.
If you're going to bet preseason, then you get what you perhaps deserve. Okay. But if you must, there's sort of a final score there. What's the importance of it? I have no idea. But you know what? We wanted to give you our 2 cents worth.
George, this is just kind of prepping everybody with the type of graphics they're going to get in the regular season. Because we needed some practice here.
Yeah.
And we've gotten it, but we're going to have some cool stuff in the regular season.
Monday after the game, we'll, of course, have Titans
wrap up.
Well, I didn't say it right. Watson's Titans analysis.
Titans-Watson analysis.
Yeah, that didn't come out real good. And then we'll have Mike Vrabel's press conference, his thoughts on how game number 2 goes. Want to put the phone number up there again?
Let's do it, George.
Okay.
Can't do it enough.
Yeah, we're going to go to the phones here in a minute, or at least we're going to try to at 588-2998. I don't pretend to know how to know if there's a caller on the line. So why don't you help me?
George, I don't really know how to answer that question. I mean, that's between us and the studio.
Well,
are you talking about online questions?
No, I'm asking, how do we know if a phone caller is there?
Well, we've got this platform that we use.
Well, okay, you do.
I do.
Okay,
I
fine.
see it. So
you
can
know.
leave that to me, George.
Okay, so what you're saying is, look, cut the crap. If nobody's on there, say it.
There's nobody on yet.
Okay. Then we beg of you, get on the phone lines. Okay, but I know we have some text questions.
Yes, we do.
Okay. This is Ask the Director.
So creative with that name.
Are you ready?
Oh, you want me to fire him at you?
Well, yeah. What did you think we were going to do?
I didn't know if you had any preamble there or anything.
No.
George, we start in Marietta, Georgia. Bruce asks the question.
Whoa, are you serious?
What?
Marietta? Somebody's watching in Marietta?
I'm not kidding, George.
I love it.
How about it? We got
Bring
some diehard Braves fans. He asks, why are you so down on Jake Odorizzi? What's going on there?
Oh, that's great. I wish I could send this to my buddy Jeff Francoeur. I'll tell you why I am. The guy's a veteran. Okay. They traded for a guy that they're not asking for much. Okay. Here's what they want out of Odorizzi: 5 or 6 innings a start, give up 2 or 3 runs, keep the team in the game. What does he do? 3 starts in a row, he poops the bed.
Yeah,
period.
It's pretty bad.
He's a veteran. He's been around. His hits to innings pitched are atrocious. Try, as I brought it up last night, what was the number? 13 innings he has pitched, 22 hits. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't understand that question.
Well,
so no offense to Bruce, but
okay. Bruce, he's on my list right now. He is Kyle Wright of a year ago. Now, that said, one can get off that list with good performance. Do I think anybody cares that they're on that list? Heck no.
You ought to tell Jeff Francoeur about that.
No, I like the question. I mean, I got to laugh about it.
I thought it was.
It's like the guy that called and said, "Why do you hate Notre Dame?"
Oh, I'll never forget that call.
Yeah. So, what's the phone number?
Oh, you're killing me today. Phone number is
put it up there.
615-588-2998.
Just remember, if you don't call us, we may call you.
Oh,
I used to put out, seriously, on radio, I used to put out that if you don't call us, we will send Greg Ruff to your home and he will attack your refrigerator. And that really got some funny comments. Okay, I know you've got a few more.
Yeah, we've got another one here, George. Lenny, not Larry, Lenny in Dixon.
Are you having trouble?
A little bit.
What's the problem?
We got too many questions here. The question is, though, has the Big Ten moved ahead of the SEC right now? And I know we asked Watson about that yesterday.
I'm assuming that he's sort of getting to the whole TV stuff.
Yes.
You know, what they've signed.
Well, and USC and UCLA, of course. Like that too.
I don't think that USC, UCLA puts the Big Ten ahead. And by the way, let me also say this. I think that there's, it sounds great. Woo, UCLA and USC. Okay, well, when Rutgers and USC play in volleyball, somebody's going to get a travel bill that they are going to gulp. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. But to answer the question the way I think he wants it answered, look, for the moment, yeah, the Big Ten has struck a TV deal that for the moment appears to put them a little bit ahead of the SEC monetarily. However, you know as well as I do that the SEC is about to turn around to the ESPN family of networks, which they now dominate, whether it's ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN8, the Ocho, whatever, SEC network. They're going to turn around and say to ESPN, if you don't pony up in a similar fashion that CBS and NBC and Fox did for the Big Ten, you're going to get left with nothing. Now, that's not going to happen. But my point is, it's a little bit like the quarterback thing. When Patrick Mahomes signed in Kansas City, I think he moved to the head of the class in QB dollars.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, what is he now, like fourth?
Yeah, he's been bumped down a few spots now. So, but George, on the Big Ten, Kevin Warren said today that he's shooting for 20 teams in the Big Ten. So that's kind of confirming everyone's, kind of
the whole super
expectations of the power conferences.
Yeah.
And so that's happening. It's there. And Kevin Warren wants it to happen. I'm not saying Sankey's sitting around waiting, but in a sense, the SEC, they have the ability to do that. But if they do too much of that, look out, because the Big Ten is going to sit there and say, I'm going to take Oregon. I'm going to take Notre Dame. I'm going to get some more teams. And sooner rather than later, they're going to dominate the world of college football.
Okay, see if you buy this. Notre Dame's the wild card. Wherever Notre Dame goes is probably going to tip the balance a little bit. The SEC's sitting there right now, and I would believe Clemson is probably next on their list. Florida State.
Maybe North Carolina.
And
North Carolina would – I think they'd rather be in the SEC than the ACC right now.
Well, what does the ACC bring to the table? Basically what you're going to have is two conferences that are King Tut, and the rest of them are going to take table scraps.
You're right.
There's really not much more to it.
It at this point, it's all right. Who's gonna have the most elite teams at the top of their conference?
It's not a real pretty look because it's two bullies to me, sort of just saying to the rest of college, sort of one of these. Just thumb your nose and go,
yeah,
too bad, you're roadkill.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
And I didn't know that it was going to get to this quick. It's jumped on us.
I think when Oklahoma and Texas happened a year ago, that set the fire.
Yeah.
That lit the match, and there we go.
And then USC and UCLA, it's like, all right, let's slow down a little bit.
Ooh. But there's going to come a point in this. Yeah, they got a lot of TV money, but I'll say it again. When UCLA has to go play Rutgers in volleyball, somebody's got to pay air freight for a match that draws 22 people. they're going to look around and go,
USC and UCLA better understand what they're in for in terms of traveling during baseball season and
I would
swimming
assume
and every other sport.
In the Big Ten, Oregon is probably next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think.
Washington.
Could be.
I mean, it
could well be.
You got to feel like Washington. I don't think a school like Stanford, I mean, potentially Stanford would move to the Big Ten.
Maybe.
But
I mean, geographically, it makes no sense, but none of this geographically makes any sense. You want to go one more before we go to the break?
Let's go one more, George. Let's go to Pro Daddy in Nashville.
Pro Daddy.
Look at that name. He asks, will Deshaun Watson play in game number 12, fresh off the suspension against the Texans, his old team?
Okay, I think I know why he's asking this. Because everybody has just assumed, okay, he got suspended for 11. He's been fined $5 million, and that's it. And I'm here to say, oh, no, it isn't. I think it's no better than 50-50 that Deshaun Watson plays in game 12. And I'll tell you why. Because if you read the small print, it sure looks to me like in this settlement that the NFL got it in such a way where if Deshaun Watson so much as belches in public, that they're not going to clear him.
He's walking on thin ice.
Oh, my God. I mean, I don't know. Look, all I'll say is for those who are sitting there going, what are you talking about? Read the fine print on this deal.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't think he helped himself at all with public opinion yesterday. Frankly, I don't think Jimmy or Dee Haslam helped themselves at all yesterday with much of what they put out there. You kind of ask, okay, well, what would you have done? It's a great question. I don't know. Now, I do know on Deshaun Watson, I would not have put him in a position to answer questions from media. I would have read a prepared statement. I would have had it full of remorse. But instead, he came off with the I'm innocent, which, lets smart Alex like me go, well, if you're innocent, why have you agreed to this? If you are truly innocent and you truly want me to believe you're innocent, then you need to fight back and say, I'm innocent. I am not going to accept any of this. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
Laying the hammer down.
Okay, put the phone number up again.
All right.
We're going to start getting phone calls at some point.
You're beating the dead horse here.
Well, I do because in fairness, over my radio sports talk show life, phone calls have been an important part of what we do.
No doubt.
And I'd like for it to be that way. But I also know that in the new world order, texting questions oftentimes is now the new phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought I would ever be involved in yapping about Roku and Spotify and Apple?
Not me.
Yeah, I mean, things change. We'll go to the break on that.
Okay.
You're watching Main Street Media Television.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bar Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports card, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
Well, first of all, thanks to a couple of callers who have let us know that they weren't able to get through.
I guess you can blame that on me, George.
Oh, who knows? What the heck? But I mean, you know, when all else fails, let's blame it on Billy. Dadgummit.
That's the easy way out.
Put that phone number up there.
All right, there's the
Let's
phone
do it
number.
again. There's the phone number.
Phone lines are wide
yes. In what will be, by the way, Tyler Palmateer will join us right at 5:40 with a little bit of a preview of NBA's game tonight.
Big game
against Ravenwood.
Yep.
Okay.
It's out in Ravenwood, so tough start to the season for both those teams.
Okay, let's see if we can mix a little bit of text questions, ask the director, and maybe a phone call or two.
Oh, look at this. We got a phone call, George.
Let's do it then. Tony in Nolensville, welcome.
Hello, George.
How are you?
George. Hello, Billy.
Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing good. it's a good thing Watson isn't there today because he'd be giving somebody some grief. Y'all know that.
I want to think it'd be Billy. I think I've been a good boy today.
I believe he would be all over him on that one. Hey, guys, George, I've noticed this in this week particularly. I've started watching a lot of predictions from several different college gurus, as they say. And 3 times I've seen where some of these 3 different picks, they're picking Georgia to lose. I've seen someone say to Tennessee. I've seen someone say Kentucky was going to beat them, and I've seen someone say Florida was going to beat them. If that's the case and what's to happen, don't that just open it wide open for the SEC East to be anybody from Tennessee to Kentucky to Georgia or Florida?
You want a theory?
Yes, sir.
I think that what you've really got here is a group that is saying they still don't believe in Stetson Bennett. He was good enough a year ago to help them get to a national title and get that huge monkey off their back, which was an elephant in Alabama. But I think what you've got here is an underrating of what Georgia has done in the recruiting world, and the easy excuse is to just say, well, Stetson Bennett really isn't, but you know what? He won a national title, and, there was something pretty good about him at the end of the season. I think some of this is unfair, and I think some of it is people throwing darts, hoping something will stick.
I think you're right. And the one thing that I saw him do more than anything, and Watson will always elaborate on this, is he protected the ball. He managed the game. And when you get that guy back there taking those snaps from the center, do those 2 things, you're going to go pretty far in your season. And I think he did do that. But I don't know why there's a lot of jury still out on the Georgia personnel coming back. And, I find it interesting. You see the poll, all the polls come out, and they have Georgia still in the top 2 or 3. But then when you talk to these gurus of this, the football predictions, they all throw Georgia might lose 1, 2, or 3 games. And this morning, I think on the SEC network, is it Chris Doering?
Yeah.
He had Kentucky going 11-2 this year.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Well,
and
who knows whether it is or not?
I mean, come on.
Okay.
11-1.
Look, I'm not believing, 11-2, whatever. I'm not believing it either, but let me ask you this. 4 years ago, did you believe Kentucky would get to this level?
No, I didn't. But
okay.
You're
so
I'm not saying it can't happen, but there's people out there that will go out. That's for some exposure.
Some of it is.
Let's be real. Come on, Kentucky's not going 11-1.
I don't think they are either. But I'm not going to sit here and say they can't, because they have achieved things. Look, when I was growing up, Kentucky was on exactly the same playing field as Vandy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of them chose to really make the investments, and they have risen to a level that nobody saw coming, and including
George,
me.
Are they at their max though? 10 wins?
Probably.
They can get that 11.
Probably, but when you play, 12 in a regular season, I mean, look, they have taken this thing to a level. I mean, you got to give them all the credit in the world. I mean,
true.
Think about the wins that Stoops has had in the last 3 or 4 years, and now he's got his basketball coach rubbing it in his face. I'm with Stoops. I love the fact I wouldn't take Calipari's phone call either.
George, y'all were discussing that a couple of days ago, you and Watson and Billy. And what come to my mind, if you remember back in the movie, I know you've seen it, The Rookie.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The little baseball team, they hadn't won crap. And then they start winning, and they're all jumping around the locker room, and Dennis Quaid comes in and he said, "Hey, guys, hold it down, hold it down. People are going to think there's a football game being played." And I think that's what Calipari's starting to feel when Kentucky's playing good football is, hey, guys, hold it down. They might people going to think there's a basketball game being played.
Look, the old joke in Lexington, and, you know, in my old play-by-play days, I would go to Lexington 2 or 3 times a year. And so got a lot of friends up there. The old joke used to be, here were the priorities. Kentucky basketball, number 1, Keeneland, number 2, and Kentucky football, number 3. And Tony, it was true. But I'm telling you,
I know.
what Stoops has
George,
done is phenomenal.
I was up there in 2012 and got turned around, got lost a little bit right there in Lexington, and pulled up in a convenience store. And I was asking for directions. And guy come out, he said, man, you've got, and this is Vandy, London, Franklin. They were, you know, playing pretty good. He said, and he told me where the stadium's at. He said, you got tickets? I said, yes, sir. He said, you got your parking pass? I said, no, sir. I said, I'm just going good. He said, no, here's your parking pass. Park right outside the stadium, right there at the visitors' locker room door. And I said, why are you? And he said, here, take these tickets and give them to some Vandy fan you might know. I said, and why are you not going? He said, it's the Breeders' Cup and it's kennel. He said, I got to get ready for a horse race.
What time's the
True
game
story.
start? What time can you make it?
Exactly. And one last thing, George, and I'll let you go and let you get other callers.
Okay.
Is I don't know if you've been keeping up with him. I just happened to keep up with him this week. Is Brian Reynolds has been on a tear this week
I know it.
with the Pirates. He's had a good week, and I hope it continues for him. But I thought you might have seen that. Guys, have a great weekend. Looking forward to the Friday high school stuff tonight. And y'all just have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.
Tony, you're a good man. Thank you.
See you, Tony.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You keep up with Brian Reynolds. To me, the Pirates have a decision to make on him, and that is he the cornerstone that they build around? Because at the trade deadline, there were some teams that really wanted him.
Yeah, and it reminds me a lot of the Dansby situation. Honestly, Reynolds, I'm not going to say his career has been better than Dansby. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to start comparing, but he has been one of the better players in the league.
Well, he's been a better hitter than Dansby.
Yeah, better hitter. Obviously, the defense is pretty comparable. But Reynolds, I feel like right now, I mean, we haven't seen anything happen, and I can sit here and say he's been underappreciated by Pittsburgh. But
did he not come close to winning a batting title?
Yeah, I think he was in second place last year, right up there. He was close. So Reynolds is another guy that if you're Pittsburgh, I don't see how you don't. I don't see how you can't extend him a lot and a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. Text line.
Yeah, let's go back to that text line, George. Long phone call there with Tony. Always good to talk to him.
Tony's a good man.
Great man. But, George, let's go to Franklin, Kentucky.
Kentucky Downs.
Yeah. Do you think Cleveland trades for Jimmy Garoppolo? And we just kind of talked about it, but.
Well, it's funny you asked that. No.
You say no.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
Because I think the Browns are waiting, knowing that San Fran is going to release him. This whole fourth string thing is
loadable.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And, you know, look, I don't know the level of animosity that's been going on. Garoppolo for a long time really played it cool, you know, when he was being told, you're not our guy. That's no fun. To be told by an organization that you have given your heart and soul to, we don't really want you. That's hard.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's been criticized by some people anonymously that he disappeared for a while, that the 49ers couldn't find him. You know, I can't say I blame him. I mean, why do they care? They've made it clear they don't think he's any good.
Yeah. I mean, they've treated him with zero respect.
Yeah, I mean, they really have. So anyway, to answer the question, I think that Cleveland is sitting there going, we don't have to make a trade. The the conventional wisdom is that the fair market stuff would be a 4th round draft pick. But I think Cleveland's sitting there going, we're not going there.
Yeah, I don't think it happens either. Because you do get Watson back, but you got Jacoby Brissett back there, a good player.
And I don't think now Watson and I may disagree about this. He says Garoppolo is a far better player than Jacoby Brissett. I think it's a lot closer to dead even.
Yeah, I don't know. Brissett's more athletic, and he's got kind of that gamer mentality. You send him out there, maybe he looks average or even bad at practice, but he kind of reminds me of one of those guys. You just like a McNair guy. He's not McNair level, but you throw him out there and he plays well in the games. I mean, for the most part, I don't know if he's better than Garoppolo, but it's closer.
I think it's close. The Browns strategically, let's just say that it is 11 games. What they've got to be saying to themselves internally, I think, is this. Can we go 6-5 and be in the wild card hunt with Jacoby Brissett? And I think the answer is yes. I really do.
I think that the defense around him, they've got a great secondary, some good pieces on the D-line as well. And, I know they just lost their receiver, but they've still got a decent offense around him. I mean, that's a good team. It's a playoff team.
It sure seems like it.
So, it matters who the quarterback is because that's the most important position on the field. And Watson, of course, will harp on that a lot. But, I agree. I think Brissett can do that. But we'll have to see.
Okay, we'll go to the break. And then when we come back, Tyler Palmateer is one of those reporters who we have out there, an army of them that you will hear.
We got Brian Stewart.
I know we do. I'm about to get to it.
Okay.
6 to 11 p.m. tonight with the high school football show. Friday Night Live. We're very excited about it. Now let's bring Brian Stewart up. Brian, I don't want to see Marcell Ozuna anymore.
I'm with you, George. I think he's burned the bridges, man. He's hitting below, 220? And he's a problem off the field. I mean, 41 million is what he's owed, or 40 million, somewhere in there. So I just don't. I think I read a article today, and I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be having to trade and get cash somewhere in the off season from just trading farm system guys around. But yeah, I think the book is closed on Ozuna with these young guys coming up and the trades that Anthopoulos has made. So, I don't see that really the only person in danger here is any catcher that is behind Ozuna, because that he is going to kill somebody eventually back there behind the plate.
Yeah. Okay. On to your business. Let's talk about what the weekend brings up for you.
Well, George, I'm excited because the first thing that I know that's happening this weekend is I'm going to be able to talk to you guys from a football game tonight. I'm going to be calling in between 8 and 9 tonight to talk some local high school football here in Sumner County. Station Camp's going to be taking on the White House Blue Devils, and I think it's going to be a great opening home game for Station Camp tonight.
That will be a terrific football game. And in fact, Tyler Palmateer is going to join us after the break. Talk to me about what's going on in your housing world.
Well, we have definitely seen a drastic change in the time of market or days on market that a home is sitting. It's a big culture shock right now where, buyers were expecting that, if a home hit the market, it was gone in a day or even less than a day. Sometimes you just had to put a sign out and you had people throwing offers at you as soon as it hit the dirt. So now we're seeing that homes are sitting just a little bit longer. And it's really just boils down to where the inventory is there, but the buyers have, been a little worried about the interest rates and things like that. But the interest rates have settled down some. and they're still, and I talked about this in my agent meeting the other day, George. The thing is that I remember when my mom told me what her interest rate was on her house in the 80s, and you're talking in the 10 to 20% range. And so now that we have an interest rate that has gone up from 2.5%, 3% up to 5 and 6, it seems like a lot, but in long-term relative speaking, it's still a pretty dadgum good interest rate. And there's always the option to refinance with a good lender after the market settles back down again.
Okay, tell people how they can reach you.
Be it 615-822-0750 for the office, 615-440-7011 for my cell phone. We're at onestoprealtytn.com. Facebook and Instagram, we have all kinds of information daily that we're putting out. I encourage everybody to like and follow. Also, George, I wanted to say one thing. We are changing our logo, and I'm going to talk about that next week. I wanted to show you our new logo that we've come up with.
So we get a Mid-South exclusive. You're going to reveal it on the
It's
show.
a George Plaster show exclusive. Watson Brown, Billy Derrick. It's going to be fabulous.
I love it. I love it. You don't get this on any show.
That's right. This is definitely an exclusive. And I mean, when people think George Plaster, I want them to think about cutting edge and on the edge of your seat, thrilling moments. This is what it's all about.
And he doesn't know what Facebook is. See you, Brian.
See you, George. Have a good night.
We'll go to the break. Tyler Palmateer with a preview of a big high school football game. This is Main Street Media Television. The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're gonna have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Well, we debut our big high school football coverage in about 15 minutes. Very excited about that. Zach Womble, Billy Derrick, yours truly, until 11 p.m. Man, wall-to-wall coverage, scoreboard updates that are good that you can rely on, and a team of reporters out there all over the place. For instance, we head out to say hello to Tyler Palmateer. He's got the NBA game tonight against Ravenwood. Tyler, how are you?
Hey, George, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here.
You got good quarterbacks in this game, don't you?
Yeah, this is pretty rare. I think, NBA's Marcell Reed's an Ole Miss commit, and Ravenwood's Chris Parsons, a Mississippi State commit. It's never know, but it's possible these guys could be facing each other in the Egg Bowl, as my editor Russell Venozzi pointed out the other day. So that's kind of cool. That's not really something you come across every day.
Well, Tyler, I was thinking about it earlier when it got brought up on the show. I can't remember a matchup quite like this, with two SEC quarterbacks going head-to-head. Now, you probably cover it closer than I do. Can you think of one in the recent past?
Oh, I'm just off the top of my head. I haven't been at one. I'm not sure that I've been at a game with this high-profile quarterback matchup. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's neat because they are very similar. They're accurate, long passers, and the athleticism that they have when they're fleeing around on their feet is really nothing short of elite. And they're just good quarterbacks. I think if you ask either one of their coach, they would just say, "Look, this is our engineer of the offense. They run it to perfection, and they're probably also our best locker room guys." So that's really the true definition of the quarterback from end to end there. So it's really good. They really are. With the exception of Kenny Minchie at Pope Prep, these are the top two quarterbacks in the state, or I should say highest ranked mid-state quarterback. So, yeah, pretty neat, George.
Tyler, NBA has been a state power for 25, 50 years, going back to when I was a little kid. And I want you to kind of give me what you think the ceiling is for this NBA team.
That's a good question. I think they can get back to the state championship game. I really do. I think physically I was able to see them in a scrimmage against Independence, and I just always like how up to speed they are early in the year with just how they block, how they hit. They just seemed like off the ball they're already, in terms of kind of controlling that line of scrimmage on both ways, we're just already working well. And I think Reed's going to have enough options offensively to get it done. And that Marty Uverard, head coach at NBA, said this is one of the biggest defensive lines they had in a while. So it could be a team that ends up winning with some defense too. So I think the ceiling can be. I don't know why they couldn't be the state championship, holding the gold ball couldn't be their ceiling, but a long way to go before that. But I think those are realistic expectations.
Okay, let's go to the other side. Ravenwood. What in your mind is their ceiling?
I think they're, I would kind of pin them right now into maybe a state semifinalist, because I think they have to prove that they can get into these games and punch some people in the mouth too. Last year against NBA, and maybe they got better throughout the season, but against the physical teams, at Summit, they kind of got pushed around and out physical a little bit. That's something I think they've got to really be ready to handle tonight. But I think they could be a team that reaches state finals if they get hot and the offense is really productive. But I wouldn't, right now I'd have them maybe out of there. I'd say that's the ceiling, but I'm sure they'd be happy to prove me wrong.
Okay, so you got two quarterbacks that are SEC caliber, or at least have been recruited and ultimately are going to SEC schools. Does this end up being sort of a 35-28 shootout?
It could be. I think it'll be played, at the least somewhere in the 20s. But I think it could. Yeah, 35-28 is a pretty good score. I don't remember what exactly the score I picked, but it just, as you said, a great quarterback matchup, but they kind of wear you out too, because of their ability to run around and kind of stretch your defense out, and that can, after a while, that gets kind of tiring to defend. So I could see them kind of taking over late in the game. I could.
Yeah, listen, I'm fascinated by this matchup. Can't wait to hear from you throughout the evening. Tyler, thanks for taking the time to jump in beforehand, and we'll see you as Friday Night Live commences.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Tyler Palmateer reporting. Did I just use the word commences?
Yeah, George. Is that the first time you used it since your Father Ryan commencement speech?
Wow. Going right for the jugular, aren't you?
It was a good memory, though.
You
had a good jab.
Oh, it's a good story, and I can't tell it on the air. Look, let's go to the break. Let's admit up front that the Plaster bet of the day suddenly has taken on a little more interest.
George, you are hotter than a firecracker.
Yeah,
what is happening?
I don't know. I hope it continues. I'll give you this hint. Not one game, two.
Woo.
We're going to give you two to get your weekend off and rolling. This is Main Street Media Television.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. One area I can help with is if you are newly or nearly retired, or maybe have changed jobs and have an old 401k account. You may need more information to help you clearly understand your options. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
Do you love bacon? I mean, do you really love bacon? Who doesn't, right? The 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Fest is coming up Saturday, September 10th. Admission and parking are free. The Bacon Festival will feature live music, food, and craft vendors. And did I say bacon? You can ride a mechanical hog ride, visit the Kids Zone with free inflatables. There will also be hourly raffles with great prizes and an opportunity to purchase Bacon Festival merchandise. And did I say bacon? Yeah. There will even be a bacon eating contest. Visit the 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Festival Facebook page for all the details.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
Welcome back into the George Plaster Show. I'm Billy Derrick, and I am happy to present Bet of the Day, powered by Bart Durham Injury Law. What a moment here. George is trying to stay hot. I don't even know how many this is in a row that he's going for now, but everybody's talking about it. This is what everybody's talking about, George's hot streak. So, George, let me bring you in here. Oh, there you go. You're good, George. The city is a buzz. I mean, this is you're good. You're good now, George.
The city is a buzz.
The city is a buzz. But, George, we've got a read to get to. First, Bart Durham injury law. Of course, you can
seems like a lot of stalling around going on over there.
George,
what's happening?
I always forget this. But
okay.
Since 1975, Bart Durham injury law has aggressively protected the rights of a broad range of victims of car accidents and personal injury in both Tennessee and Kentucky. If you too have seen your life interrupted by an injury on a highway, in a hospital, at your workplace, or on unsafe property, you should let their attorneys do the work fighting for the full final compensation that you need. You can learn more about Bart Durham injury law by logging on to bartdurham.com. All right, George, real quick here, let's take a look at some of the results. We all know what's going on. Everybody knows this. They don't need a graphic for it, but you're the hottest.
They do.
You're the hottest better on the planet. I mean, 3 in a row, Braves, Cardinals, and Braves again.
I'm proud of last night. I felt like Max Fried would pitch his fanny off.
And he did.
He did. And, you never know. Jacob deGrom could be completely unhittable. But I kind of thought, okay, if they can scratch out a couple of runs, don't be shocked if Max Fried, as a dog, gets it done. So we've got 2 that we're going to put on display for the end of the week.
There's the first
baseball one. Yeah. The Cardinals, Miles Michaelis is just a better pitcher than Henry. St. Louis is on a roll. Albert Pujols has been red hot. Paul DeYoung, who we had on this show several weeks ago, has given the Cardinals a spark. They are now the leader in the National League Central. They are going to go to Arizona, and in a workmanlike fashion, they are going to get it done.
Book it.
You darn tootin'.
You can book it.
Yes.
So that's number 1.
Item number 2 would be tomorrow night here in town.
I just
think, yeah, I know.
You're doing it again.
Yeah, 2 weeks
Watson
in a row.
would be all over you.
Well, you know what? He's not here.
That's why you did it.
That's
why you did it.
I think Tampa is in a little disarray right now. It really doesn't matter in the preseason, but there's a big old question mark in their locker room. They don't know any more than we do about when Tom Brady is or isn't coming back, because nobody's saying anything. And I'll guarantee you that locker room right now is going, what's happening? Where is he? If he's not coming back, what are we going to do? And I think the Titans are going to find kind of a listless Tampa Bay tomorrow night.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. You never know with preseason.
Okay, so we bow out of here and thrilled for what's coming. First of all, we've had a great week here on the show, and I thank all of you. The numbers are getting larger and larger of people who are watching and noticing, and we're trying very hard to give you a great product. Monday, 5 o'clock, Butch Spearden will join us to talk about where exactly the proposed Titans' new stadium is as far as on the drawing board, because in recent weeks, it's gotten a little bit quiet. All of you have a great weekend. Friday Night Live is coming up next. This is Main Street Media Television.